Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is now 8:03 a.m. You are listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. And it's Monday, November 1st. We have a great guest today. We have a developer. We have a man who's all in. You guys can get that part of the conversation. That was before the mic came on. Coffee drinker? Is that coming? Coffee drinker, fellow coffee drinker. That trail of superlatives, ladies and gentlemen, lead to only one man, Harish, our friend Harish. Good to see you, brother.
Hello. Curtis, thank you for having me over today. Appreciate it.
Yep. So we have a lot to talk about. Norma Peterson is here. Good morning, Norma Peterson, Jennifer, Ryan, Mayton, and Jose Luis. Good morning to you as well. How was your weekend?
It was great. We had a really good fundraiser event for APS Training Academy on Friday.
Okay.
It was packed, so we had a really good reception. So after that, Saturday and Sunday was mostly just sitting down and, because it was a lot of stuff happening, so mentally drained. So just sitting down
taking
and relaxing.
It all in.
Exactly.
So now we'll be talking about JH Realty.
Real Estate Partners.
And then we'll talk about APS STEM Training Academy. Both of those are really great ventures, and we appreciate the work being done very much. And then also for you listeners out there, especially you, Tracy Duran, you're going to learn to hear things about the Hobbs Building, development, what was once dilapidated. That's the word of the day, dilapidated. Monica, if you'd be so kind as to let people know the definition of dilapidated, but not, but looking for development. Development is happening in some really great corners of the city. So now you and I started off talking about the Hobbs Building. For those who may be unfamiliar with it, where is it at and what's happening there?
Yes, so the Hobbs redevelopment project, so it's at 2 North River Street.
Okay.
And the project itself constitutes a redevelopment of 2 North River, 6 North River, and 12 North River. So these are the 3 buildings that are located between Galena and New York along the river.
All right. That's an impressive building too, man. It's a staple downtown.
Yes, it is an iconic building. A lot of Aurorans have based on the what's happening in Aurora and also the history. There's also a page for history.
Yes, Aurora then and now.
Aurora then and now.
Yeah.
Just looking at the messages, especially when it comes to the Hobbs Building, is when you realize how many Aurorans are actually wanting for the building to come back to its old glory.
Yep.
And that's what we're going to be trying to do. And no pressure for us. But
well, I'll say this: you guys, we wish you all the best and much success. But it doesn't look like you guys are trying. It looks like you are doing. It looks like you guys are actually doing it.
Yeah, yes, this has been a wonderful journey so far. It's taken a little bit of time, but the progress that has been made so far, I think, I'm really proud of our team.
Yeah.
We're going to be restoring the dome, the historical Onion Dome back.
Yes.
So that's going to be something really exciting, and I hope a lot of Aurorans show up for that when it gets back. So it's going to be exciting, and so far the progress has been really good.
Great. Well, we have a new camera, so when that happens, we will definitely be on the scene catching that story. So JH Real Estate Partners, how did it begin? What's its history? And tell us about it.
Okay, so let me go back down almost 14 years.
Oh man, coffee.
Yes. So I moved to Aurora in 2007 I was living in downtown Chicago.
Okay.
And I got a job at Office Max, which was at Deal Road, Naperville. And Aurora was very convenient for us, and we were in the verge of setting up our from a family perspective. So it was time to move to the suburbs.
All right.
And both the wife and I decided Aurora was the best place to be, and we moved here in 2007. Right. Then I'm also a poker player. That's why the term all in.
I knew we were going to be friends the day we met, man.
So I used to come here to the casino to play poker. I don't play any other game but poker in the casino. So I don't have a gambling problem yet. So when I used to come here, so either before I go in or after, I just used to stand right on the bridge, facing the river. I used to wonder, this is such a beautiful, downtown with the river flowing right through it.
Right.
We have a neighboring city which has a creek which is doing extremely well, but we have a river. So my thoughts were, if I'm in a situation to invest, from a real estate perspective, this would be the place.
Yeah.
So that was in 2007. Flash forward 2014 is when there was an opportunity for an investment.
Okay.
So 37 West New York, which is currently USAMBA, was our first venture. And then within a couple of months in 2014, also invested in 56 East Galena, which is currently French 75.
All right. Now, they were just in the headlines because they had a wonderful Halloween package night, which was well attended.
Yep. Hope and Braden are awesome. Nice. So they really transformed that space. So in 2014, these were the two acquisitions.
Okay.
And somehow things were not as conducive from a business development perspective after these two acquisitions. So I just had to, the notion to, maybe we should wait.
Right.
And 2018, the opportunity presented itself where it was pro-development, and that's where I reached out to my partner, Jay, who's big in the restaurant industry, who has multiple franchises. And I told him that this is the time.
Right.
We need to get in right now.
Strike while the iron is hot.
Exactly. And that was the birth of JH Real Estate in 2018.
That's great. That's a good story. We can definitely support that. That's an excellent story. Bianca Camargo, Dan Guerrero, Anna's Custom Treats, Aisha Saxon, Jose Luis Brito, good morning to you as well, dear sir. Oh man, look at all of you wonderful, motivated people. Oh, goodness gracious. See, this is what it's all about right here. It's 8:11 a.m. and we are here talking development and highlighting what's good in our wonderful city. I just want to take a brief moment and punch in a little bit of news. Our friends of the Copley Theater have renovated downtown, and Bold series are now announced in that newly remodeled space. Paramount Theater last week announced the 4 shows that will launch the Bold series, according to Tim Rader, President and CEO of Paramount Theater. Quote, after nearly 2 years since we were originally supposed to launch. Okay, let's sip it up, everybody. It's Monday and we're motivated, so you can forgive us. All right, let's try that again. After nearly 2 years since we were originally supposed to launch our Bold series, the time has finally come to lift the curtain on an exhilarating and new storytelling experience. The Bold series will offer intimate, professional live theater experiences that are unexpected and thought-provoking. With the 2-year, $2 million renovation nearly complete, officials said the theater is an intimate venue with 165 new seats and a new lobby bar. Oof. The Bold series will feature Sweat, Lynn Nottage's Pulitzer Prize-winning contemporary drama about life in an impoverished American Rust Belt town, from March 9th to April 24th. Hand to God, a darkly humorous shocker, from May 25th to July 10th. Fun Home, the Tony Award-winning musical, from August 3rd to September 18th. And Bull, a Love Story, a world premiere drama about a Mexican-American man who returns to Chicago to find a family who has moved on in a neighborhood he no longer recognizes. That'll be from October 5th to November 20th. For more information, go to ParamountAurora.com. Very cool. Very cool. All right, so we've got art, we've got development, we've got JH Real Estate Partners. Now, so we'll stick with the Hobbs because it's still a beloved building. Now the corner, I noticed that the corner of the building, which is River and Galena, there's an open space in there. Boy, that's gonna look great when it's done. That's some life. I still see the exposed brick on the outside. Any plans to paint the building, change colors, or anything like that, or?
So painting the building might not be possible because it's a historic building.
Okay.
It is important for us to retain the existing brick.
I see.
But we can, sandblast it and make it look cleaner, and that's definitely an option.
Okay.
But after 5 years, we can do whatever we want.
Okay.
In terms of if you want to apply paint and all that, it's definitely an option.
Okay.
But we so far we want to just maintain the historic nature of the building.
Sure.
And so that's not in our roadmap
as
of now. But if everybody in Aurora wanted to be painted, then we will definitely consider it.
Nice. Okay. Now APS, APS Training Academy. Tell us about that.
So APS Training Academy is a non-for-profit institute that was started last year, late last year, in memory of my mom, to continue her legacy of giving back to the community.
Okay.
And this organization it's basically to provide free technology training in the STEAM arena to the underserved communities here in Aurora.
All right.
And the goal is to empower communities to STEAM education.
That is absolutely wonderful. The young people of today, with all of the benefits of technology right off the bat, the iron is hot, to use that phrase again, for a new generation of thinkers, mathematicians, engineers, people who can contribute to society and humanity for many years to come. Now, I've looked around, and with the exception of our friend Simon Rodriguez with the city of Aurora and some of their youth activities, you and he are the only two people who I see doing that kind of thing. I love that. How hard was it to get off the ground and get going with it?
So the ribbon cutting happened in the end of August of last year.
Okay.
And our first class was in October, based on making sure that the infrastructure was ready.
Right.
So we started in October. It was still peak COVID around that time. So initially, the attendance was not as much as what it is right now.
Right.
But again, we were sending the word out, and through outreach, we were trying to still make sure that we had enough students. So we partnered with a couple of organizations, including World Relief.
Okay, yeah.
So
great
where we were
organization.
providing technology training to the refugees who were present here in Aurora.
Okay.
So it started off with that, and then we also got a lot of support as well from the city of Aurora. The CIO, Mr. Michael Piggies.
Shout out, Army veteran. Shouts out to Mr. Piggies.
Yeah, and he basically had contacts with this company called Tinkerworks.
Yes.
That provides STEM kits, and we started providing that training for both the couple of programs, one for grades 1 to 3, as well as grades 4 through 6, where we provided robotics training as well as STEM kits, right, which is called Art Alive and Roverbot. These were the two programs.
Correct. Yeah.
That we were providing to them. So this is technically done by Aurora STEAM Academy, and we are the implementers.
Got
essentially.
it. Now you guys, those were early days of Good Morning Aurora still, but we keep our ears to the street, and we were happy to report on that. Because I think that shortly before the Tinkerworks was announced with you guys, we had Simon Rodriguez on the show not too long before that. That's very cool. Much success. Much success, man.
Yep.
Now that takes place at 2 South
Broadway, yeah.
Broadway.
Also, since the entrance is on the Galena side, we it's 105 East Galena.
Aha, that's right. See, these are the key things, because I don't want anybody to go there. Hey, man, Good Morning Aurora said it was 2 South Broadway. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. 105 East
Galena, and in the 4th floor.
4th floor. All right. See, the power of Post-it notes. Always take notes and write things down, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Now, what's the hours and times, and how do we get involved with APS for those who want to send youngsters?
Absolutely. So we have our website, which is apstraining.academy.org.
Okay.
And all the information in order to be a part of the organization is there, in terms of volunteering, donation, everything should be in there. But as far as the times are concerned, we have different classes. We are also providing Google Workspace courses for adults. And we're also partnering with the Kane County Sheriff's Department to provide computer literacy classes.
I saw that. Right,
Yep.
my man.
Yep.
Yeah, we got you hanging in the news right now on the outside. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be between 10 to 12.
Okay.
Right? There is a possibility for us to potentially go to the Kane County Jail between 2 to 3 p.m. To provide courses for the returning citizens.
Right.
And then for the students, most of our classes start from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m.
Okay.
That's because they have to finish school and they have to get back.
Sure.
So that's basically we have courses starting from 10 a.m. all the way up to 6:30 p.m.
Oh, that's great. That is awesome. That's awesome. Congratulations, man. Big time. Big time.
Yes. All this is been made possible because of the excellent team that we have. So
Right.
I just wanted to mention that as well.
Yeah. Team is important. I think one of the other things that is important is that so you mentioned this was in the context of the JH conversation. You mentioned that I believe in 2018 you felt that the city was more conducive to business.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like we have a city that's willing to work with if you're trying to do something and make it better and build it up. It seems like we have a city administration that's helpful.
Absolutely. That's one thing. That's exactly what I meant.
Yeah.
Again, nothing against the previous administration or
Of course,
anything
sure.
like that. There's nothing bad that I want to do.
Sure. No.
Take out of this. But yes, since 2018, we actually went really aggressive. JH Real Estate Partners, where we went ahead and acquired around 13 buildings
Good.
in downtown Aurora. So again, that's the term all in,
Yeah,
right?
that's right. That's right.
So we were wanting to make sure that we acquired key properties, right, in downtown Aurora that also had parking facilities within less than a block, because we were foreseeing, as things are improving 2 years, 3 years, 5 years from now, and everything changes, parking is going to be a huge deal.
Yeah.
So
because
that
people are going to be coming here. It's going to be popular. Right.
Exactly. So from that perspective, that was a big factor. But overall, to address your initial question, the support has been amazing.
Yeah.
And we're fortunate.
Yeah. And the where I came up with that question was because I told you where I lived once upon a time downtown. I lived right around the corner from that. I could see half of it from my windows. And I have pictures that I used to take of downtown, of New York Street when I lived on it, Restaurant Row, and there was nothing. Mm-hmm. And I look back at these pictures, and then stuff started coming. Mm-hmm. So even I can tell. Nothing against any previous administration. I don't know what they were, but I mean, I've always seen Aurora as a great town with which to build on, and it seems like that building started getting kickstarted around 2017, 2018. That's when I started seeing it. So kudos to the city. All right, the time is now 8:23 a.m. You are listening to Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. So we are here with our friend Harish of JH Real Estate and APS STEAM Academy. Monica, if you'd be so kind, would you take us to a commercial and let us know what's happening on the local level here in the City of Lights?
All right. Good morning, everyone. Don't forget to please subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date on all of our content. There you can also watch all of our interviews and receive notifications when we go live. I'll be sharing that link with you all in our chat. Tuesday, November 2nd, the Rotary Club of Aurora will host a blood drive from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. This will take place in the Holiday Inn Express and Suites Mobile Coach, 111 North Broadway, next to the Aurora Transportation Center. Walk-ins are welcomed, but making an appointment is always recommended. Every donor will save up to 3 lives. A mask and ID are required. For more information and to schedule a time, visit the link that I'll be sharing with you all in our chat. This Friday, November 12th, which is not this Friday, November 12th, which is next Friday, from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., Bardwell residents located at 63 South Broadway will be featuring cocktails and conversation. Cocktails and networking will be at that event. Come see what Bardwell is all about. To RSVP, you can call 630-892-5790. November 5th will be the first Friday for November, and friend of the show, Josue Paiz, will be showcasing art titled For the Love of Frida at Charlie's Silver Spoon Creamery, located at 6 East Downer Place. Shout out to our friend Josue and Charlie's Creamery. The flyer will be shared on our social media.
All right, much appreciated. Thank you very much, Monica. So the weekend was fun. We had a pet parade. We had trick-or-treating. You had the ball, the masquerade ball, correct, at City Gate Lane. How did that go? And how did it feel? First of all, first question. Besides how to go, how did it feel having an event to highlight and celebrate the activities?
To be honest, it felt overwhelming. This was our first masquerade ball, our first fundraiser. So it was quite the event.
Doesn't it feel good?
Yes, it felt amazing. Again, it boils down to the team that
Right.
we have, where in spite of having an event where you max out the space of 250 people, it's not easy, and kudos to the team for making sure that the event went as seamless as
Right.
as possible.
No gremlins,
Yep.
gremlins in the mix.
Exactly. And a lot of the participants were very surprised that this was our first annual fundraiser, and this was the first time we were having an event.
Yeah.
APS Training Academy, and the response was amazing. All the guests who were there, they did a great, they really donated, and we're really appreciative of the fact that they were there and wanted to be a part of a greater cause.
As I mentioned, I saw some pictures, and boy, it looked like a shebang. It looked well attended. I was looking like zooming in, like, whoa, what a nice event.
Exactly. Everybody, wore wonderful costumes, attires, and we also had a fashion show as part of the event. So
I saw that. There was a catwalk going down.
we had a ramp and everything. So it was an amazing experience and amazing event.
Anna Sierra says congratulations. Thank you very much, Anna Sierra. Better Rick, good morning to you. Greg Ellsbury, good morning, dear sir. And Cheryl Brownell, happy November to you too as well. Okay, and then did you do any trick-or-treating with the fam?
So I basically, just after everything on Friday, I basically shut down during the weekend.
Sweatpants all day.
I just wanted to, refresh overall. But yes, my two girls are 13 and 11, and they didn't want me to be a part of. They're going to be having fun on their own along with their friends.
Yeah. Oh, Dad, get out of here!
So I did not offer, and they did not ask. So
gotcha.
I just
chilled
out at home. Yep.
Yeah. Do you have now? You weren't at the parade, but do you have any pets? Are you a pet person? We're coming off the heels of a very pet exciting weekend, man. People are still sending dog pictures to me. Thank you for the dog pictures on Instagram. Curtis, post this. Like it's like a day later.
Yes, we do have a pet. His name is Leo.
Okay.
He's an amazing guy, and we love him. So he's a year and a half, and he's a very people's person. Wants to be always seeks attention. Wants to be petted all the time, but we love him.
Good. So now this all started basically. You had mentioned you were at Office Max, which I have an Office Max question for you here in a moment. But it's all started basically, you're standing on the bridge, that New York Street Bridge, taking a look as a river runs through it. That's the title of a movie too, so that was a good idea. And you had your vision and what you were thinking about. How's it going? Is it going according to plan?
Yes, absolutely. Again, it has been a journey, right?
Sure.
But end of the day, in terms of reaching the vision, it's definitely progressing towards that. And again, the way I looked at it is based on the initial, starting off from standing in the bridge,
right,
looking at the river, to today, November 1st of 2021. It's been a while, right? It's 14 years. But based on the plan, right, the key was to acquire these key buildings, right, in downtown Aurora. So we own around 130,000 square feet right in downtown Aurora.
Right.
The goal was, previously, I think, based on research, what had happened was there was one or two developers who would come in, right, and they would develop their buildings, but still there were a lot of other buildings that were just, as is.
Yeah.
So the vision over here was to acquire these key buildings where we are we're going to be the masters of our own destiny, right? Wherein you're not going to be
again?
Master of your own destiny, right? So where we do not want to be reliant on other developers, where we would take matters in our own hands. So at that point of time, that's where we went aggressive in the acquisition of all these buildings, right? And then what we noticed was after our initial acquisitions, other developers came in, right?
Yes, always.
And we need that, right? We need that. It's not possible for us alone. We need other developers to come in and bring all their talents and revitalize downtown.
Sure.
But from our perspective, we were ready to not necessarily rely, but take matters in our own hands and do what we can with all our buildings.
That's right.
And we were positive that that's going to have a really good impact.
A closed mouth does not get fed, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly.
So now things are going according to plan. How much did COVID affect the plan?
COVID played a role, definitely a huge role, especially in terms of the construction costs and stuff like that, right? Where the materials prices costs skyrocketed. But again, these are things that you cannot plan for.
Sure.
Right. So from our perspective, we just wanted to make sure that we were able to sustain during that time frame, which fortunately we were able to do so. And once things started getting back on track, we were able to start where we left off.
Now, the Usamba building, there is a back walkway back there. Now you mentioned, was it 37 and 35?
The Usamba building is in 37 West New York Street.
37 West New York Street. Okay. Now we did talk. That's Restaurant Row. That's what it's known as. Any plans for new restaurants that you can share with us, perhaps?
So as far as Restaurant Row goes, we already have some good restaurants and good establishments over there. So there might be. There was initially a thought of combining 37 West New York and 35 West New York, which is the building right next to it. But I think right now there might be potential interest for that building by another restaurant. But I don't know the details of that.
Got it.
But as far as Hobbs itself is concerned, there is a potential for an Italian restaurant, high-end Italian restaurant, to be a part of our community, downtown community.
Yes, and I once interviewed, and I always give this gentleman a shout out on this show. I once interviewed Alderman Carl Franco.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things about doing this job is that I ask people questions and I get information. Carl Franco lit up when I asked him about restaurants, and he lit, and I encourage anyone to watch the interview. It's on our YouTube channel. Watch the part where we start talking about restaurants and food. He mentioned that he had a desire to see an Italian restaurant in Aurora at some time.
On that front, he was one of the main people. So whenever we see each other, like, okay, you know that
right,
we need an Italian restaurant.
That's right.
And for this new Italian restaurant that we're talking about, he's been the main champion.
Great.
And he's played a role
that is great
in making sure that we are able to meet and talk.
Right.
So kudos to Alderman Carl Franco.
Yeah.
And this is something that he passionately wants and
Definitely
believes in, and he wants it here.
Yeah.
And he's following through.
Now, I think when we talked about the coming into downtown aspect, so one of the things the city done is they've been heavy with art and placing murals at our incoming intersections coming into downtown. So the Aurora mural, for example, on Galena when you're coming in, right there by Lake Street. The Alabrijes mural on New York. When we get all this traffic and everything, the intersection of Galena and Broadway, right there, that's also coming back to life as well. And that's JH, Real Estate Partners, doing that. Let's talk about that beautiful corner, because it's looking better and better every day. Every day.
Yes. So as far as 105 East Galena building, which is the old Aurora National Bank building, I'm sure you guys would have noticed the mural. Thanks to Jennifer Evans for facilitating that, and that signifies what we're trying to accomplish right in that building, because that's where we're offering our STEAM courses.
Right.
So that's our technology building right there. When we acquired it with 0 tenants, right? The building had no tenants.
Right. Oh, yeah.
To right now, where we just have one floor available. Every other floor has been rented out. So we have Neotech, we have a non-for-profit, we have a realtor company in the 8th floor,
Right.
Sheena Sells. So and we have potential data defenders that have signed the contract, which is a cybersecurity company in the 2nd floor. It's a lot of things have been happening, right? And as far as from a murals perspective, it's just amazing. When you're coming down on Galena after crossing, is it Lincoln or
LaSalle.
After crossing LaSalle, and you see the wonderful mural over there, it just signifies where the direction that we're going overall.
Now I like that. I love that mural. And Neotech, this is their headquarters. Aurora, was that correct?
It's their headquarters is in California.
Okay.
Right. This is one of their satellite offices here in Aurora.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Because I was aware. I do remember that ribbon cutting.
Yep.
That day when that opened up. That opened up to much fanfare. That was really cool.
Yep. That was in 2019.
Nice. Okay, so let's talk Aurora stuff, because I have to get you on the record with a few things here. Mm-hmm. Now, when you hang out and you go downtown and you like to eat something and you're looking for a bite to eat, where does Harish go? Where would you recommend and shout out to our listeners?
My favorite location is La Quinta.
Okay.
Again, this might. How do I sound humble? But because
if you can't, then just go ahead.
I would like to think of myself as a humble person. But there's a specific dish called the Harish dish that they have in La Quinta.
Okay, that's all right. I have a usual at Treadwell. I walk in there and nobody else gets it.
Yeah, and it just brings back memories of me when I was growing up, the food that I have, and they specifically make that on request.
Nice.
So that's the place that I go to for food on a regular basis. And for libations, now that French 75 is open, that's where I hang out in the corner.
Yeah.
And just de-stress and hang out there.
I must say now, so that building, for those of you guys who are familiar and perhaps unfamiliar with it, it has there's a I think an apartment or wherever upstairs with the window that juts out, the one big window. Boy, from seeing it as not much to seeing it now, every time I come out of the City Hall walkway, Water Street Mall or whatever, and you get to Galena, every time I look right there, I'm like, wow, that just looks like that screenshot picture of it. It doesn't even look like Aurora sometimes. Like it looks like some little fancy bistro. It looks nice. Like that's a good one.
Yes, absolutely. And again, shout out to both Hope and Braden for completely transforming that location.
Yeah,
it's got so much character. I would encourage all Aurorans or anybody even outside of Aurora to go take a look.
Yes, I recommend the Jamaica Almond if you go there. That's my personal favorite. Braden got me on that one night.
Mine is City of Lights. So
oh man, it's a great place. Okay, so now the time is now 8:39 a.m. and at this time Monica leaves us and goes off to class. You can just that's good right. Yeah, that's good right there. Monica leaves us and goes off to class. Monica, we hope that you have a wonderful day, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you have a wonderful day.
It was a pleasure meeting you, Monica.
Nice
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Let me hit the clap for Monica as she goes. Okie dokie. All right. So now, one of the things that we interviewed Rachel Ventura last week. One of the questions I asked her was how she maintains a healthy work-life balance. So same question for you. How do you maintain a healthy work-life balance?
So this is where I would attribute a lot of, from a work-life balance. That's something I believe in. And that's where my wife plays a huge role in helping me with that, again, in terms of responsibilities and all that. But this is something that, having worked in corporate America for more than 20 years, this is something near and dear. And I want to make sure that both us as a family as well as our team is able to have a good work-life balance, because that is important both from a health, from a physical perspective as well as a mental perspective. So again, there might be situations where you might have to go all hands on deck and put in the hours when necessary, but it's important to take a break also and refresh and for the longevity of whatever you're doing. So we're big proponents of that, and I practice that as well.
Yeah, because I'm sure, man, I'm sure that, from the day of having that vision and, and then COVID and everything, and now coming back to life with all the stuff we have seen going, I'm sure that sometimes it has to be like overwhelming, but you do a good job. You do a good job.
Thank you, Curtis. Again, it is it's been, you go through moments where you just want to, not crawl out of bed. You just want to go into that fetal position.
Just pull the blanket
on and remain in that position.
Can somebody else answer this text?
Right. So that's the life of an entrepreneur. A lot of them only see the flashes, the good things, right?
Right. They think it's all your own dish at La Quinta.
Exactly. But we go through a lot of trials and tribulations. But the key is to persevere and stay on course, because I'm always a big believer that if one door closes, a better one opens.
Amen to that.
So we just have to remain the course. And so far, from a vision perspective, we're redeveloping all the buildings, and our biggest, once we were able to get, good restaurants, truly international restaurants, this is going to be the destination. That's what we want, right? And if anybody on a Friday or a Saturday or during the weekend want to figure out, hey, where do I want to go? They should think Aurora, and we should have all the spots to make it a truly international destination, right? Meaning, it should have different cuisines. That's the goal. That's the vision.
No, I share that. See, that's the Harish, man. Well, we know each other. Look. I feel the exact same way, but I feel that way and have felt that way as a resident, as just a citizen, as an Auroran. I want the same thing. I want it to sparkle, both in terms of the buildings and the people. And I used to go to Leland Legends when it was there on the corner of what is now Altiro. And folks should come out of the Paramount, and they should go right or left and be treated with all kinds of great things. And we're slowly making that happen here. So kudos to you and just all the stuff. Here's the next question I got for you. What did you want to be when you were a kid?
I wanted to be an air pilot. When I was growing up in India, that used to be something whenever I used to see the planes, I'm like, I would like to fly those. So very young in my life, flying was a passion of mine.
Okay.
So that's to answer your question.
And India has a reputable Air Force, boy. They've got a well-known and a great Air Force. And now here we are in 2021. You've done a lot, you accomplished a lot. There's still a lot more to go. Who've been your mentors along the way?
From a mentoring perspective, again, it's more like a partnership / mentorship thing, right? Yeah. So my partner Jay he's a person who I lean on, and we have conversations. And likewise, if he has something going on, he would like to get my feedback. So that relationship, I would say, is truly where we care for each other. It's very difficult to have such a I've had partners before, but in this particular case, I think he would agree as well that both of us are fortunate to have each other as business partners. And I'll look at him as also a mentor from a business perspective. He has a amazing business acumen. I'm more of a out in the, hey, this is the vision, and let's try to implement that. But he's more of the nuts and bolts. Harish, that's good, but from a practical perspective, we need to cross these.
Of course,
right?
yeah.
So that combination, I think, has gone a long way. So I would consider him a friend, philosopher, and guide to me.
Yeah. Now you do. You do have a boots on the ground aspect to you. I mean, I've seen you on the ground with the I've seen you out there with the people. So, yeah.
That I would attribute it to my grandmother. Growing up in India, coming up from humble beginnings, and that's something I'm conscious. In spite of how all the stuff that we're doing, I want to make sure that I don't forget where I came from, and that to me is really important.
Yeah.
And that particular that humility and being humble has been inculcated very early in my life because of my grandmother. Growing up in India.
Do you still have family in India? You take trips?
So after my mom passed away 2 years ago, the trips have not been happening. So my dad has moved in over here with us.
Okay.
Me and my sister. So I have two sisters. Younger sister lives 10 minutes away from where I live,
Right.
and my older sister is in New York. And my dad is living with us, either with my sister, sometimes with me.
Yeah. That's an interesting contribution to make. From and mentioning your grandmother and everything. So one of the things that I've been fortunate in life, and I do try to instill a piece of it in what I do, even with the show. Like I've been able to travel, and I've been able to see places that the average American, I don't think. We've got areas in America and in Aurora certainly that could be better, where there is poverty. But I think that a lot of Americans have not seen or been overseas and seen what life is like in other countries, and how an American's worst day here could still be favorable to other people in other countries. I mean, they would love to have our worst day here. And I try to pay it forward as much as I can. Treat people right. Get on their level. So when there was the Challenge to Change event at the bank building in the parking lot, you were out there. You're out there and seeing, trying to do things and help people. I don't think that hasn't happened enough in life. I don't think so. I don't think that's happened enough in life. So I appreciate that about you. I appreciate when people who can do for others, because there's people who just own properties and that's it.
Thank you, Curtis. Thank you for your kind words. I truly appreciate that. Right. So yes, I mean, there's one aspect of from an economic development perspective, right? Developing all these buildings. Yes, while that's good. What truly gives meaning to my life is the people development aspect, right? How can we uplift even if it's one life, right? Yeah. And that quality was, a lot of times I've mentioned about my mom, right, and her legacy. We even have that on our website at apstraining.org, right? That part, is a saying, right? You come with nothing, you go with nothing.
Right.
In the meantime, if you have the opportunity and the capability to give back, you should, right? And technology right now, we spoke about technology being, and especially in the next 5, 10, 15 years, that's going to be the forefront of,
Exactly.
And it's made to seem a lot more intimidating and overwhelming than it actually is. So if we are able to break it down, make it simple, and provide it as an option for these kids, for these families, or for anybody who wants to give technology a chance, and right, we want to do that.
Yeah.
And luckily, fortunate to have the means to give back.
Right.
And as long as we're able to, we will continue doing that. But that's a core principle. Yeah. That we want to follow. But thank you for your kind words.
Yeah. So the Kane County Sheriff's Office and working with them for computer literacy for returning individuals. that's also something that when I see your name on the flyer, when I see those flyers and I'm part of that new little newsletter and everything, I look at who's involved and who's helping sponsor that, because I work with a lot of senior citizens in housing, and they email me and call me and stuff, and hey, can I fax you the papers, and no. We're in a digital age now. We are in an email age. They don't have an email address. Large sections of our current population, returning individuals, are going to be left behind, or are currently left behind. And they're vulnerable people. A person who's returning to today's society from doing 10 years or whatever the case may be will be potentially left behind. And so talk about that for a little bit. We can actually end on that, because Judy Dawson is a great person, and she's been a big help to Good Morning Aurora as well.
No, absolutely right. So this is where I want to give a shout out to two individuals, Andy Cousins as well as Kelsey Cousins. And I have, I say this with 100% confidence that they have been the main driving force. It's important, right? You can have a vision, you want to implement stuff, right? But in terms of execution, having the right team is the key.
Yes,
and
of course,
having both Andy and Kelsey day in and day out, right, giving in their all, and then them being passionate about giving back to the community and putting in those extra hours goes a long way, from a fledgling organization that started last year to where we are, where we've impacted more than 700 lives. You need to have the people.
You do.
And
Monica left. Look at me now, right?
Exactly. So I'd like to thank both of them from the bottom of my heart. And we have all good tutors, right? Like Melissa, David Smith, and Julian. Simon Rodriguez has been an integral part, right? The CIO, Michael Pegues, right? And also the support of the mayor. I mean, everything you need, right?
Yeah.
All these, and Chiquita Hart-Burns, Alderwoman Chiquita Hart-Burns, who you made sure that we had the main Baptist church, right, available, and she's been an integral part. These are all key players in making sure that we are able to function efficiently and do more.
Right.
So I'd like to give a shout out to them. And we're also, the key is having the ability to provide this to people who need it the most, right? So we're partnering with Mutual Ground as well to provide for victims of domestic abuse, so that they have technology as an option for so that they have some confidence in, hey, I can stay, I can live, be independent.
Exactly.
World Relief, we're having conversations with Hesed House. So this is how you want to make sure that this reaches people who need it the most.
Right.
And so far, we're blessed, we're fortunate in having this impact, and we want to continue having as much impact as possible. Like I said, economic development is one aspect, but people development is something that we truly believe in, and we want to do our best.
Yeah.
And continue until my last breath.
That's right. All right. The time is 8:54 a.m. All of you great people, Tracy Duran, hello to you. So much is going on. This is a great conversation we're having with our friend Harish. So we've still got, holy cow, the time it flies, my brother. The time flies. We have 6 more minutes left. Okay. Office Max. So, because when you said that, I just from meeting you and talking to you in the short span that we have known each other, boy, I can't see any Office Max. I can imagine you'd be a good man to work for, but take me to the first day of Office Max, and then the last day of Office Max.
Absolutely. So 2007, I think it was August, I'm not sure of the exact date, was when I joined Office Max as a consultant.
Okay.
My specialty was databases. I love data.
Yeah.
So I have a master's in computer science specializing in databases. So I joined there as a database consultant. And within 6 months, I was asked to become a database manager.
Okay.
and leading 12 people, and who used to manage databases for more than 5,000 stores.
Oh, right.
So it was a wonderful journey until 2011, where there were conversations about the merger with Office Depot, and there were some uncertainties and whatnot. So
Right, sure.
that's when I decided to see if I can move on to a different challenge. So
Okay.
that's when I moved to Discovery, the Discovery Channel.
Really?
Yep. So
Oh, man.
so I was the director for their backend database, data analytics, and stuff like that.
Oh, I love Discovery Channel. Oh, my God. That's
Yep.
the greatest, most uplifting news I've had so far. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Keep going. Yeah, please go on.
So from 2007 to 2011, I was at Office Max, and then from 2011 2012 Discovery until 2016 when I went to United Airlines. I was a chief architect over there for a couple of years, and since then, I've been doing consulting here and there because I still love technology. I run a technology company called APS Data Technologies that specializes in data analytics, machine learning.
Okay.
So that's something also that I'm really passionate about, and it's been a wonderful journey so far.
So the time is 8:57, and the show ends on a positive note. What would you say? So two things. What would you say to the youngsters who are coming into or going to be our next generation of leaders, thinkers, and potential engineers and mathematicians? What would you say to them? And then what would your message be to the people of Aurora today? So we'll start with the youth and then everybody.
Okay, from a youth perspective, I'll just take an example. I had a conversation while coming from Treadwell with Monica. I was really impressed, right, where now she's doing a master's in public administration, right? And I asked, what is your aspirations? I mean, I know that I was the person who's going to be interviewed, but I wanted to get her perspective.
Right.
And she believed in giving back to the community, and that in terms of helping the refugees get settled. That gave me the confidence that the youth, right now, there are so many of them who are, wanting to be a part of giving back to the community.
Right.
I was so happy to hear that. So there's nothing that I'm going to tell you guys because they're already there. Right. I just want them to persevere and continue, and things will happen. Money will find its way.
Yep.
So that's one thing I'll say. As far as all Aurorans are concerned, all I can say is thank you for all the support, and I would only request to keep continuing to support us in everything that we're trying to do over here, especially from a non-for-profit training academy and all that. So if we're able to provide this information to others so that they can avail this resources that we have available for them, we would really appreciate that. I mean, outreach is important, and if you guys can recommend Aurora APS Training Academy, we would really, really appreciate that.
That's awesome. All right, so the time is now 8:59 a.m. We appreciate everybody for tuning in today. This was a great interview with our friend Harish. So tomorrow we've got more news for you guys coming up, and it's Monday. It's November 1st, so let's do our thing and make it a absolutely wonderful day. Now Monica is not here, so I will have to end the show on my own. But as I always tell you, wonderful people, take care of yourself and each other.
Thank you so much, Curtis.
Not a problem, my brother.